Molly, what you doing, Pumpkin? This is Molly. She's our little beagle mix. Poor puppy has bad eyes. She's had glaucoma and cataracts and all sorts of problems. But she's a sweetheart. She's a sweetheart. Say hi. Hi. She's a little camera shy, but she loves the pets. Let's see, she likes some scratches? Oh, we love the pets, don't we? Yeah. Alright, Molly. I just wanted to introduce everybody to you and let them know that you're just like a big old cat. This is pretty much all that Molly does. She lays around and sleeps most of the day. When she's not sleeping, she's wanting to eat. When she's not eating, she wants to go outside and use the restroom. And then she wants to come back inside and sleep some more. So, this worked out really well because I was never a big fan of having a dog myself. It's kind of a crazy story, but basically when I was a kid, I was probably maybe, 9 months, maybe a little older than that. I might have been 12 to 15. I don't remember the story for sure. But anyway, I was really young, and we were visiting my grandmother in Tennessee. And she had this old dog out in the backyard that, it was a sweet dog, it really was. But sort of like Molly, it had eye problems, and no one really knew that it was having problems. And the dog had pretty much went blind. It could only see shadows and shapes and not really a lot else. And my cousin took me out, and he wasn't that old. He was maybe 5 or 6 or something. You know, he wasn't old, I don't think. Not much older anyway. And he took me out back to see the puppy. And unfortunately, the dog was, leashed up and everything. But the dog didn't recognize, our smell and didn't recognize a baby. And I apparently cried or something, and the dog just went nuts and felt scared and reached out and just swiped with its paw and pretty much ripped my ear off my head. My understanding is, I think it's the left ear, but it could have been the right, I don't know. My mother even forgot which ear it was for sure after it had healed. The scar pretty much went away. But what it was is, it was just dangling on the side of my head. And what she told me is that my dad was he hated doctors. So instead of taking me to a hospital, which would have been the right thing to do given that blood was running down my head and my ears dangling off, he decided to hold it up, kind of match it up with the other one, and then wrap a towel around my head to help stop the bleeding and hold the ear in place. And he just figured since I was young that it would pretty much heal itself. So that's what happened. And after weeks and weeks, of course, being that I was young, it did heal. We got lucky in that respect. But eventually the scar went away, and even after a while, my mother hadn't looked in so long, she forgot. And so I'm not exactly sure which ear. But I've always said that out of one ear I can hear things close up better than I can hear things further away, and vice versa. So I don't know if that had something to do with my ears being changed a little bit or what, but it's just one of those things. It's a random story. It's kind of gruesome. But I think it instilled a fear in me with dogs and stuff. So, there have been times in my life where I've been able to handle small dogs. But most dogs, for the most part, especially bigger dogs, I'm usually not as big a fan of. I'm a little over it now more than I used to be. Over the last 10 years or so, I've grown more accustomed to larger dogs. But, yeah, it's one of those things. I never really wanted to have a dog. I loved cats, but didn't really want to have a dog. But anyway, my dog Molly, bless her little heart, she's sleeping something fierce at the moment. But basically we ended up with her by total accident, and she's an amazing dog, and we had no idea when we picked her up that she would be just like a cat, and that it would take a lot of that anxiety for me away. And it's been a pleasure having her as a pet and as a friend and companion. And we're lucky to have her, despite all of her expensive procedures and medical issues, and the list goes on and on. But, nonetheless. So, this is Molly, And apologize for my mess. I haven't cleaned the living room today. But she's a sweetheart. And if you ever get a chance to get a little beagle mix, you couldn't do any better than Molly. I mean, most beagles, unlike Molly here, tend to howl and yell and bark a lot, but Molly's about as quiet as they come. We've only heard her actually bark or howl maybe a dozen times in the 4 or 5 years we've had her. But anyway, she's a sweetheart. I just wanted to share her and her not-so-excited state with you. And I hope you guys will tune in to Verbal TV 1 and check out future videos. All right, y'all. Have a good evening.